connections. That's my mug. I am James Lott Jr. Yes, we're going to connect people, places, things, and ideas. This person is doing some amazing, I think, doing the Lord's work, I think. I mean, especially here in Los Angeles, where the homeless population is at record numbers. Changing the Face of Homelessness is the organization she co-founded. Make sure all my stuff is turned on and off. If you are watching us live, you can go in the chat room. You can ask questions, say hello, give us some praise, whatever you want to do, please do that. And follow while you're here on JLJ Media. Be so kind to do that. We're trying to showcase people who are affecting positive change in the world. That's what I'm here for. And she is Miss Katrina Sullivan. Hello, Miss Katrina.
I'm sorry, well, I'm Katrina Williams.
Oh,
so
good.
I put in, I only got my first name typed in, but my last name is Williams.
Williams, I got it. Katrina Williams. Let me say it again. Katrina, let me do it again. Miss Katrina Williams. Please, I apologize. Hello there.
Hello there. Thank you, James.
But no, but from the bottom, I mean, minus the name thing, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say I've been following you and what you're doing, and you're doing the Lord's work. I said it in the opening, but you are. You're doing something that a lot of folks either just talk about or read about, but they don't get their hands in the trenches and do it. So thank you for all the work. I almost start crying. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. I think it's very. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy work to do.
It's not. It's not easy at all. And you really have to have a heart of compassion when you're working with the homeless population, because we're dealing with so many different type of barriers. You know, you have a lot of people out there that are broken. You know, they're dealing with a lot of trauma. You know, they losing their jobs. They can't pay their bills. You know, you have people that are mentally ill that, you know, are symptomatic and on medications and can't function. So it's a lot going on out there on the streets, but it's always hope and it's always empowerment if you want it. And that's what I do. When I come to the streets, I come out there and I love on the people. That's what it's all about. And I rock with God all day and day. And empowering them, giving them hope and letting them know they can get off the street if they want it. Because you have to have a mindset of change to have a lifestyle change. So that's what we do when we go out there and do our outreach. We go out here, we meet with people, we listen to their stories, and then we implement some type of program. So I bring them here. If they don't have no income and we have a bed available, I will sponsor them if they are ready for change. And we're literally out there taking people off the street.
I know you are. I know. I said you're in the trenches. You're literally in trenches. You're in there. You're out there. But I want to ask you, because you're in places like Skid Row. If you're not from Los Angeles, you can look this stuff up where the areas are. But you like places like Skid Row, which is famously known. But I'm just saying, how do you? There's so much in Los Angeles. I mean, how do you choose where to go? I mean, how do you make those decisions? Like, I mean, it's just so much.
Well, it's not, you know what, James, it's not about choice, because I'm also an outreach caseworker with PATH. Okay. So, and that stands for People Assisting the Homeless. And as an outreach worker, we have to go out. We're on the platforms, we're on the buses, we're on the trains, we're on Skid Row, and we're on our feet. And we're walking the streets. So in LA, it doesn't matter. Homelessness is everywhere. You can see it from the freeways. You can see it from your house. Yeah. So it's just about really just getting out there and saying, well, what area are we hitting today? Because homelessness is everywhere here in Southern California. It is. So, you know, we're just kind of just like going from here to there.
I admire you so much for that. Especially these days, it's been hot out there these days too in LA. Ooh. I'm like, we may be in these houses complaining, but there's folks outside in that heat, and you're out in that heat too, walking the streets, despite what's going on and trying to, bring people off the streets. So your platform is mainly, if they want the help, you're here to assist them. So you said you also mentioned there are folks who do actually have problems, actually have mental issues and things like that. So how does that work?
So basically, our program is set up as a permanent supportive housing program. And it's shared living. And we have case managers here. We also have USC interns here. And what we do is we provide resources and tools. So if they have a mental illness, we refer them out to our local DMH agency. If they need some type of coping techniques, we do that here. We do counseling here at the site. We also meet with them once a week to check in with them. And we also develop housing stability plans. And that's what's important, is that we actually sit down with our residents and we talk about goals that they want to meet. So if they want to obtain employment, if they want independent housing, we sit down with them and we strategize and help them build a plan to meet those goals to become self-sufficient. So when I say I'm not playing with it, I do a lot of videos. And when I say that I'm out there and I'm not playing with it and I'm meeting people where they're at, that's what I do. And I tell my clients and residents all the time, I keep it real. I'm always 100 and I give it to you straight up with no chase. Because I want them to know that it's their journey, it's their life, it's their progress, and it's their success. We're just here to help them navigate it. But I also want people to know out there that is so much going on in homelessness that a lot of people can't be housed because of their barriers. And that is what the Breakthrough event is all about this year, is bringing real resources to meet realistic needs. So people can be housed and be housed sufficiently and successfully so they can stay housed.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the event that's coming up on August 28th, but I also want to piggyback off that because I think it's such an important thing you're saying. What you're basically doing, Katrina, is you're giving them their power back. Because I guess that's where the hopelessness comes from, right? You feel like I'm homeless, I'm eating medications, I'm on the streets. You feel hopeless and there's no change to happen. So you're saying we're going to give you back your power. This is not my journey; it's your journey. This is your life. You're an adult. This is your life. So what do you want it to be? Is that what that's basically you're doing?
Exactly, because it's their story. We're just here to help them navigate, help them put the pieces back together. Because we all go through something in life where we all fall down. The problem is that when we fall down, a lot of the homeless population don't have no supports. Don't have no one to turn to. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we had our aunties, big mamas,
yes.
But today we don't have that anymore. So there is no family dynamic support system. Even back in the day, it would say it takes a village to raise a child, and a village meant your next door neighbor, Miss Rose.
Everybody. Anybody who's an adult, I'll take Katrina. Anybody who was an adult, I couldn't say you're not my mama or my daddy. You did not say that. They were in charge. They were under your care. They were anybody who was an adult was you listen to them. That's who you listen to.
Exactly. And so that support system is gone. And then you have we have the youth on the streets, lost. They don't have no support. They don't have no structure. We have the elderly on the streets. They're on the streets because of the cost of living. They can't afford the rent. They don't work all their lives and now receiving their pension, and they can't even enjoy the last stage of their life because they can't afford to pay the rent.
And these are folks who some of them are from military, some of them worked 40 years at a job, some of them raised kids and grandkids, and you're right, at the end of their lives, their last 10, 15 years, they can't even be in a home and relax.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous. It's completely it's sad and it's ridiculous.
And that's why I've been saying this on the videos. This is a community kingdom building assignment. I haven't strayed from it and I won't stray from it. We as a community have to come together to bring about the change, period. It's time to come and love on people. It's time to give back. We can no longer keep sitting inside our houses and walking outside and walking past tents and thinking it is okay. It's not okay. Everybody deserves to have a roof over their head. Everybody. My mama told me, Jane, she said, and I was a little girl when she told me this. She said, there is 2 things you do in life. She said, pay your rent and your life insurance.
Okay.
She said, because when you have a roof over your head, you can think better when you're in your own house. You may not be able to pay your gas bill. You may not be able to pay your light bill, but at least when you're in your own house, you have a peace of mind. And that's when we walk outside and people are in tents. I'm telling you, on Monday, I walked past a young lady in a tent, and she had just shot a heron. And I was speaking to her, and as I was talking to her, I was like, "Do you want to come off the street?" She was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, sweetie, well, what is your plan?" And so she was telling me, how she just got high. And I'm very honest with the people. And I said, "Well, sweetie, if you really want to get off the streets, are you ready to go to detox today?" And she was like, "Not today." I said, "Well, when you're ready to go to detox," I said, "Here's my card. You call me, you go to detox, I'm going to house you." And that's what I mean about meeting people barriers. I couldn't take her off the street and bring her into the program. She wasn't ready, and she wouldn't have made it, because she would have been shooting up. She wasn't going to be able to go get no job. And the little money that she had, she was going to shoot it up. So we have to meet people where they're at. And I'm only one individual. So this assignment is going to take a village. So I really truly need all of you who's watching today, share this broadcast, and come out and support us. Support this organization, because we're really out here taking people off the street. And I'm not going to stop.
And I'll tell you something, I agree with the whole thing. You meet people, and that's a good lesson for anybody, period, any part of your life, meet people where they are. I have some comments for you.
Okay.
Thank you for talking about this. I was homeless 11 years ago. There weren't much accessible resources. Here in Baltimore, there are so many barriers to get affordable resources, especially mental health. Another comment, I am so glad you are tackling this, Katrina. You are on the front lines putting in the work. Thank you for tackling this. Thank you for caring. Wow, that's smart. Our live chat. They see it. You said something that also stuck with me that I agree with also. I've always said it's about kids. I think it's about this could be for anybody. Kids want to know several things, and one of them is, are they loved?
Mm-hmm.
And you said you go out there in love. And that's for the adults, any age. Or I think that's our basic thing, isn't it? That they matter. Because I had a friend tell me once, he said his position on the homeless changed. One day he was driving down, I think it was Wilshire Boulevard. Here in LA, it's a big street in LA, mid-city.
Mm-hmm.
And traffic, it's LA, so traffic, whatever. A homeless guy cut off, didn't go through the crosswalk, just middle of the street, walking slowly across the street. People honking their horns, like going crazy. And he just kept on going as slow as he wanted to be. And he said his brain changed from being angry to going, wow, he just wants to be seen. That he matters. That's almost like everyone's honking, but that's still attention. He's might really walk by him 100 times a day and don't say nothing to him. But by doing this, by disrupting, I'll put it in quotes, disrupting the traffic that happens every day, regardless if he walks across the street or not, it said it made him go, wow, we are not paying attention to them. And there are brothers and sisters, our uncles, our aunties, our cousins, our nephews, our sons, our daughters. And he said it changed something. And it changed my view of homeless too. But he said to me, it kind of hit me also like, wow, I totally get it now. I totally get it. Now, I don't know if that was just hit that homeless person's thing, but it does represent that they want to be loved, they want to be seen. And I love what you say, you go in love, which is a godly thing to do, of course, also.
Well, everybody wants love. I mean, sometimes we say we don't want it, but everybody needs a sense of compassion. Now I'm gonna keep it real. And the thing is, when we out there, on the streets, people tend to overlook them, down, give them a down look, downgrade them. No, we should be uplifting them, because let me tell you something. I have a young lady that works here at my organization. I met her on Skid Row. She was one of my clients when I was with Pat. And just by simply walking down Skid Row and just saying, good morning, good morning, good morning, she walked up to me, and I gave her the courage to come up to me and look me in my eyes. I mean, a little thing. I thought she was a teenager.
Yeah.
And she looked up and she said, ma'am, I have been on the streets, I think for almost a year. And she was pregnant. She was 3 months pregnant. Her and her fiance was both homeless. She had moved from the Midwest. She had 2 kids, got here to Skid Row, had a nervous breakdown, and they took her kids. And she said, all I want to do is get my kids back and get off the streets. I don't want to be on the streets pregnant and in the rain. And God told me, take them underneath your wing. And I took that young lady and her fiance, took them off the street, sent them to a shelter in Pomona, and started working with them every week. I mean, I had them going all over LA. Because one thing I do is I want to hold people accountable. When you say you want to be housed, you want permanent housing, your own place, you want your life back, then you want to have to put in the work. If you're willing to put in the work, meaning if you're willing to give me 30%, I'm going to give you 125%. I'm going to go over and beyond for you. But if you were only going to give me 10%, I'm going to tell you there's nothing I can do for you.
Okay.
And to move on to the next person. You got to be willing to put in the work, because guess what? When the blessing comes and you get the reward, you're going to appreciate it. And you're going to want to maintain it, and you're going to want to keep it. So they was working their tails off with me when I tell you, sending them to job interviews, sending them to go get IDs and social security cards. Whatever I needed, they was grinding. And I worked with them. I housed them into a 2-bedroom apartment in Inglewood.
That's right,
not only got their house, they got their kids back.
Good.
And had the baby she was pregnant with. And then during the pandemic, they had the little, I'll say the corona baby. So she got pregnant during the pandemic.
Yes.
And they had another baby. So now they have 4 children. They're housed, and she is now my caseworker here at the site. And now that's what it's about, taking people off the street and paying it forward.
I love that you're also dispelling the myths of what homeless people are. I mean, it's like there are folks who just, well, I always say we're all a check or two away from homelessness. We're all an injury away from homelessness. I mean, I've been many times I was living on a couple people's couches. I looked out, I had those folks' couches to lay on. But there were a couple times when I was younger, when I was just starting out, and I, popped the piss in, and so I mean, I could easily be on the street. So we can't. People say, don't put your noses up and make like it can't happen to you. This is our problem. This is not just those people's problems. It is our problem.
Most definitely. And James, you bring that up because this year the Breakthrough event is honoring Gary Perez.
Yes.
He was actually one of my clients on my caseload at Volunteers of America in Pomona. And he was an actor. And he was also Corey Thomas' best friend. He always would talk about Corey like a brother.
I love Corey. I know Corey too, so I love Corey.
Okay. He's awesome. I love Corey too. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's great.
And so Gary, when I tell you, every time I try to engage with this man, he would dodge me. For 2 months, he would dodge me when it comes to none of his appointments to discuss housing. And then one day I was out there on the quad, and he was just, he looked bad. He had lost a lot of weight. So I had him come into the office, and I sat there with him, and I said, look, this is off the record today. We're not talking about housing, so I'm going to close your file. I said, I am really just concerned about you. I said, I see that you've been losing weight. And as soon as I said that, James, Gary began to cry, and he opened up, and he started telling me his story. And from that day forward, we started working together. When I say he never missed another appointment, he never missed another appointment. And we started implementing, a plan because he was a severe alcoholic. So what we did was Corey and I, talked with Gary, and the plan was for him to go into detox and then to go into rehab. But the problem was we got him to detox. I took him to detox, and the fear came in. His biggest fear was, I go through detox, I go through rehab, then where do I go when I come out of homelessness? When I come out of rehab, yeah. I'm going to be homeless again. Right. I'm 57, I'm a fallen actor, I don't have any money. So all I want to do is come back on the streets and start drinking. And you know what? He was right, because there wasn't no resources, none, where we have people go into detox, then go into rehab. And then when they come out, where are they supposed to go? They don't have a job. They just now, in their beginning their recovery process. And he was 100% right. And with the fear, Mr. Perez took his life on October the 26th, 2019. And it really hurt my heart because he had so much hope.
Yeah. He
wanted to really change this time. He wanted to win, but the fear, he couldn't deal with the fact of facing homelessness. And that's why I developed this program with supportive services. So when people are like Gary, who goes into rehab or into treatment, and they come out clean and they're ready to change their life, they have a home to come to. And the residents here, I love my residents. You guys can look at the videos. We sit here, I barbecue, I cook with them, we break bread, we have real discussions. I empower them, I give them lessons so they can get to the next level. And when I tell you, these people here are phenomenal, they're phenomenal. They're working, they're going to school. I got the older ladies here, you know, Miss Paulette, she's like the big mama of the house that goes in there and cook the meals. That's what it's all about, loving on people, giving them the life back, empowering them so they can go to the next level.
Yeah, you got me all crying. I got me all teary-eyed. I love no, but it's those that's a sad story first of all, but then you turn something good out of it. I mean, in his honor, because there are a lot of folks who just the fear gets in and they don't make it. So that's kind of those kind of things. I want to let's talk about the event happening August 28th from 12 to is it 12 to 4? 12 to, was it? Well, the event healing, talk about that.
So we are actually
like myself. Yes.
So we're actually bringing the second annual Breakthrough 2021 event. The theme is yours.
Oh no! Wait, say you muted yourself. Unmute yourself.
Last year we had went out to the park, and what we do is we bring, food and clothing. We bring entertainment, and at that time we was launching our housing program because we were going to open in October. So we come out and we house people. But this year, they had closed up a park, and I'm just going to keep it real. God said take the Skid Row, and I was like, Skid Row, God. Okay. And I went there and I met with Mr. Wendell, the councilman of the Skid Row district, talked with him about it, and started going out there every Monday to do outreach and realized this need is great here. And this year, the reason why I said healing with housing was because people need healing before they can be housed.
Yeah.
If you're suffering from your mental illness, you're not going to be able to function. You're not going to be able to pay your rent. You're not going to be able to stay housed. If you have an hallucination and think somebody coming after you, I done had clients that are literally punched holes in the walls, and put feces on the walls because they're symptomatic from their illness. Yeah. So they can't stay housed. Then you have people that are dealing with substance abuse issues. Well, they can't stay housed because they're going to spend their money on drugs. So we need to start meeting people where they're at and at their barriers. So I'm bringing the community with me. We come with real resources, substance abuse resources, mental health resources. I'm even now putting the call out there for medical because people need medical. We got elderly people out there. They got high blood pressure, diabetes, congestive heart failure. I'm not playing. This is real. This is for real. What's going on in these streets? And we need real resources with real tools to meet our community where they're at. And then, of course, we bring in the housing. We're going to be housing people directly off the street that day. And if you follow me on my videos, you'll hear me say all the time, the breakthrough started today, yesterday, the day before yesterday. Because every time we go on Skid Row or Venice Beach or wherever we're going to do our outreach, and we take one person off the street, that is a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough.
Should I ask you about how you feel at all? I don't know if you have any feelings about the Venice Beach situation.
About the what?
Venice Beach situation that it's been going on. You don't have to answer if you want to. I don't know if you have any feelings. I just thought I'd ask you since you are in that space.
Well,
I think you're real.
I think the whole thing with Venice, it's not just Venice, it's Venice, Santa Monica, North Hollywood. It's all over.
It is.
And we need to focus on all the areas. Actually, when I went out to Venice, I was just like, you know what? I said, God, everybody needs to come to Skid Row on 8/28/2021. not just because of the resources
Right.
or the housing opportunities, but for the healing. Because we got to start somewhere. I feel really feeling in my spirit. Once people start feeling the healing, they will start being able to trust the agencies that are out there, because a lot of people don't trust us, you know, because they feel like they've been, you know, told a whole lot of things that hasn't came to pass, and they're still homeless. So, but we got to start somewhere. And cleaning up Venice is the same way as cleaning up Skid Row. It's just lesser people at Venice Beach.
Well,
homelessness.
I'm glad you said, because you know how I feel about it a little bit. Just it's yes, when it's Venice, suddenly we got to clean it up. Other areas have also that they don't really look at very much, do they? This is my little thing. I'll say that I just felt suddenly Venice Beach got all the attention for certain reasons. And you and I both know those reasons, obviously. And I just felt like I liked what you said. It's not just Venice Beach. It's also San Mike. It's also Marina Del Rey. It's also North Hollywood. It's also Inglewood. I see it in parts of Hawthorne. It's like we need to not just focus on this one little area where they're trying to make it fancy, of course.
Right.
But it's all over Los Angeles. I'm glad you're very diplomatic in saying that. I will be less diplomatic and say that I know why there are folks on that area. When all the areas should be a focus.
Yes.
I'll say that. Okay. Where can they follow you for? I'm gonna put it inside the description, of course, and I know where to follow you. But where can they follow you for this event, especially, and also to follow what you guys are doing if they want to help?
Okay, so our website is www.cfh20201.org. You can also follow us on Instagram, and our Instagram is CFH20201. And we are also on Facebook under Changing the Faces of Homelessness, or CFH20201.
Yeah, it's very easy. As I talked to you forever. This is such. I mean, you got me teary-eyed, because it's such tough work. I know it is, and before I let you go, I want to find out, what does Katrina do to wind down?
Wow, that's a good question, James. That's a really good question. You threw me a curve one right there.
This is what I do. I should find the person behind the cause, and I'm just wondering, what does Katrina do? What does Katrina Williams do? Because this is heavy work. What do you do to take self-care yourself?
To be honest with you, I just went to the spa.
Okay, good.
A couple of weeks ago. I did. So now I'm gonna say that I did. I took a day. I made myself take a whole day
send
off.
her spa gift cards. Send her to spas and things.
Send me spa gift cards. I love the spa because this is hard work, and it's mental work. You know, these are people's lives that we're out here dealing with. And when you're dealing with someone's life, you have to make sure that you're coming from the heart, because what you say off your tongue is what you speak into their lives. Okay? So I have to have like a relaxation day. So I did make myself do that, and it was awesome. It was phenomenal.
Good.
So,
and you have a support system, I'm sure, supports you, your own support system.
I do. And the residents here, when I come to the site, and I know I'm the owner and the CEO, but when I come here, I even feel a sense of peace. And I tell the residents that, all the time. Sometimes I just be at home and let me just go to this site so I can just air my head out. Let me sit in the office. Because there's a sense of peace here. And I just love when I pull up and I see the residents sitting on the front porch and they're out there just talking and laughing. I love that. And I guess because that's my upbringing, because, my parents, that's how our family was. We were very family oriented, very together, and, and we did a lot of sitting around and engaging with each other. So I love to see that. And that's what I brought here to the site is, that type of love. When you walk in, you feel the peace.
I love it.
When you walk in the door, you feel the peace.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna come down and see you. I'm gonna do that because I'm here in LA. I'm in Inglewood. I'm gonna come down and see you down there and see what you're doing in person also. And everybody's I'm going to. Everybody should literally check them out. Go on IG, go on Facebook, wherever. Just check them out. I'm sure whatever you could do to help, they will be greatly appreciated. I'm sure. If it's volunteering some time, or I'm sure giving some money, or whatever it is, promoting. Like she said, retweet this or repost it or whatever. Just please, we gotta get the word out there. It's our problem. It's not just their problem. It's our problem. We need to help our village. I believe in the village very so much, and I'm sad that we strayed away from that mentality. We need to get back to that mentality. The village uplifts. The village supports.
Yes.
That's what we have to get back to. Thanks for being on the show. You are amazing. You are amazing.
Thank you, James, for having me.
If they don't tell you that, I'm telling you that. You're amazing. The chat room agrees with you. They're like, you're amazing. Everyone, so I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. Just sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. JLJ Media is my company that I own. I'm the CEO of JLJ Media, one of the few Black folks who has his own network online. So go ahead and support me, support the homie, support me, hit the subscribe button, listen to this podcast, send it out to other people, let people know what's going on, and support Black excellence out there like her and myself. We're working hard for you guys to help the village. Yes. Thank you, everybody in the chat room who's been giving some great comments. They're all giving you applause. They're giving you applause to you. You always send her all the applause in the world. And everyone, please take care of yourselves and be aware of your surroundings and walk with compassion, care, and love.